Alright, so before Mavado makes his triumphant return to Mortal Kombat as a cameo in MK1, I've been requested to give Mavado a redesign as an actual playable character, so let's see what an MK1 Mavado would look like. Alright, welcome back everybody. So, I'm just gonna say this now, I miss Mavado. I'm one of those Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance players that actually was a fan of Mavado in the game, and though his moveset and the way he played was kinda tricky, I feel like there was so much potential with Mavado as a character, both in how he played and his story, that was just completely dropped over time, which kinda is the story for the vast majority of the 3D era of Mortal Kombat, to be quite honest with you. But just the idea of Mavado was crazy. The actual hooks that he would use to move across the stage, which I don't even want to know how annoying that's about to be as a cameo. Then having Cabal's hook swords and the attacks that used to come from that, like Mavado was crazy. So when I was requested to actually do a redesign for Mavado for MK1, I was kind of mad at myself that I hadn't thought about doing one sooner, just because he was one of the many characters that I actually liked that were new to Mortal Kombat and Deadly Alliance that just vanished to time, I guess. But he's coming back today, and I want to give him a design that not only does him justice, it doesn't make anybody want to sort of make him the jobber character that they've been using for a lot of the comic books and cutscenes and random stuff like they've been doing in all sorts of different material for Mortal Kombat over time. I want him to seem like a cool character that could at least stay for a while in Mortal Kombat. So let's see what I come up with. Alright, so starting off, I created the pose for the picture. I went ahead and remade Mavado's Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance pose. I just made a change to where his right arm is actually open. That would later get changed as well, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But I really like that initial Mortal Kombat character art pose that Mavado had in Deadly Alliance, so I just went with that for the base of this drawing. I also made him a sort of long, elongated character. I don't know why, I just feel like Mavado should look like a longer person, like he should look taller for some reason. I'm not even sure if the character was all that tall, to be honest with you. Just feel like he should be, and it might just be the long trench coat that makes me feel that way. But in designing him, I don't know why I wanted to give him a ridiculously large collar. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I like the Kenshi sort of long coat jacket over top of his gear type of look, but I still wanted to stay true to Mavado's character of having one long sleeve and the other one being a short sleeve or a cutoff sleeve. You can imagine, as much as I'm always talking about asymmetry in my designs and whatnot on this channel, that Mavado is just a dream to work on at this point because he has asymmetry in all of his designs to begin with. I gave him, like I said, that Kenshi-like coat over the actual armor or sleeve itself. The way there's a separation in that design, it's slight in the Kenshi design. It's probably something that maybe I only noticed, but I liked it, so I sort of jotted that here when I did this design. Then for the other shoulder, because I knew it was going to be exposed, I gave him a shield on one of his shoulder pads, not a shield. And I drew the Red Dragon logo on it. I also gave him a lot of diamonds or stud-like designs in his gear in this costume, just because Dagon had it in a lot of his costumes and he is the leader of the Black Dragon clan. I did go back and change his hair. I felt like he looked too much like Jim from The Office, so I fixed the hair. I gave him some time in the early part of the sketch portion of this design. Then with the actual end part of his clothes and the jacket itself, I don't know what was with the weird chest piece, no shirt design that he had in Deadly Alliance, so I wasn't doing that twice, though I'm not sure I made it any better. I saw a Mavado art piece where he had on if anybody's a wrestling fan, like the old fishnet shirts that Christian used to wear back in the day in WWE, so I gave Mavado one of those underneath the trench coat, just because I felt like it would be an interesting enough design to roll with. So I gave him those with some very over-designed boots that I'm not sure what the purpose of them being designed this way is. It just looks cool, so I rolled with that too. And the design portion was almost finished until I realized that I didn't like the way his hands were structured when I started doing the line art phase. So I went back and I fixed his right hand to actually be able to hold a hook sword, and then I stuck that in the design as well, just to, I don't know, add some type of character to this piece. So I gave him Cabal's hook sword because that's what he had back in the day anyways, and then I went with finishing the line art and starting the coloring phase. Right now, by the way, would be a good time to remind you guys, if you haven't, to like and subscribe to the channel, and also if you wouldn't mind to support me over at my website www.shadassassins.com, or you could just go to buymeacoffee/shadassassins, same website. I have webcomics and artwork over there, or you could donate to me and support me if you like my content as well. It would be greatly appreciated. Now back to the video. So this is one of those rare occasions where I have a color scheme already in mind and don't have to do too much thinking here. So knocked out his skin tone to begin with. That was pretty much the easiest part of the design process. Then I wanted his jacket not to appear jet black because I knew I was going to have black portions of his clothes anyways, so I gave him like a dark blue almost. Just a bluish jacket sort of made it look more interesting too. And I made the inside of the jacket red just because he's in the red dragon. See, get it? Gave him the inside of the jacket a red design, and then gave him sort of blackish pants. Just added black to different portions of his design to offset the blue and the red a little bit. The color scheme actually matched a lot better than I initially anticipated, and it looks like almost a nice upgraded design from what he had in Deadly Alliance. So then going from there, it was on to the shading and highlights. My favorite portions of the design, because A, it's when the designs start to come to life, and B, it means I'm almost finished. So I went ahead and started shading him. I ended up going back and sort of using the sketch portion of my design over top of what I had already done, just so I could see the details a lot more. And the shirt underneath the jacket actually showed up, so he didn't look as crazy. Then after I cleaned that up, because I got a little messy, I went ahead and finished the actual shading on his look, and then got that blended in nicely and started working on his highlights, which are rather extreme highlights than I would like. But with the blue, it was a choice between either I was gonna have the highlights blended too much to where it wasn't showing up on the jacket, or overly bright to where it made the jacket seem overly shiny, and I eventually settled on that anyways. I don't know, it gave the jacket some type of material, or a material feel to it at least. So I rolled with that and ended up having to do a few amount of specular highlights compared to how I normally have to do these on the design. And after adding the specs to it, he was finished. And I had a new Red Dragon Mavado for MK1, which I'm not gonna lie, once I finish this design, I actually am looking forward to his Mortal Kombat 1 cameo, because I want to see what that looks like, or what they make him look like in the new game. I know he's not gonna get a redesign. Well, he just might, because the 3D era characters are getting redesigns for whatever reason. Most of them just look like throwbacks, but I feel like if they redesign Mavado, it would be cool, but I would wonder what it actually looked like. Working on this got me a lot more excited for the game. But in any event, I'd love to know you guys' feedback. Let me know where you think, good or bad, this design is, especially in comparison to the original one. And you all have a good one, and I'm out.